Commence opening the missile silo. Missile silo open. Max, stay up there. It's the pirate hunter. I think they're hunting for pirates. Adjust that camera a little bit more. And go from there. Awesome. Alright, check, 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 check. Check the little Picasso, check, 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 check. And we are recording. Awesome. What up, tubers? Yes. Your old pal Jackhammer Mike with another lame video. Old Painless is going to be in for a cleaning this weekend. Got the Beretta done. Factory clean. At the Culp, they are factory clean. Now the Mossberg is going to get factory cleaned. Everything's coming out. Everything's getting clean. I'm just not going to do it right now. I got something else for you. As soon as I find out where the pirate dog went to. Yeah, she's going to get taken apart, cleaned up. Trigger group's coming. Everything's coming out, getting factory cleaned again. I've been holding off because I've been wanting the Duracoat to cure on this thing. So now that it has, she's going in for a good scrubbing. But I got something else cool for you. While I'm practicing my multi-camera editing, I heard some of you guys were saying something about my last video. The sound wasn't working right. Or I was cutting out a little bit. That's true. It was. Because of the way the cameras were set up out there in the sticks, it was a little harder to do because certain points of the video were, I was using that camera, the big Sony, that one, and not this little Picasso, and then I switched, and the volume changes and all, so I just stuck with one camera as far as the audio goes, and a couple of you guys said it cut out, and of course I had that music up a little bit. So anyway, I got something cool for you. Check this out. You guys ever wondered how much paracord is actually on a survival bracelet? You know, somebody makes a bracelet like I do and wears them all the time. Do you ever wonder how much paracord is actually on one of these? Well, I've got two victims for us to find out. I could tell you, but I don't, quite honestly, I actually don't remember how much is on here. And two, I want to show you how to deploy it if you had to. Got the boonie hat here, which has, this got about 50 feet wrapped up on it, all around the rim. This has got a lot of paracord on it, and all I got to do is undo it here, and this whole thing comes apart. So, but we're not going to do that. This is for emergencies. What we are going to do is, we've got two paracord bracelets here. This one's pulling out. This one already did pull out. So they're pretty much useless, and I can't retuck them. My paracord bracelets are tucked. Can't tell you if you can see this one or not. I don't have an end sticking out. Oh, maybe I do. Where's my glasses? Come on, Grandpa Four Eyes. Yes, I do. I have an end sticking out right there. That little fuzz. Okay. What I do is when I get to the end, I take the cord, the paracord, and shove it through the bracelet, and then bring it out the bottom, and then stretch it a little bit, pull it tight, and then cut it. So you can't see the ends of it. There are no ends, and there's no burns on these ends. Much more professional job, nicer looking job. It's not a Walmart Chinese paracord piece of crap that has melted ends on it that look like shit. I hate it when they do that. So what I want to do is show you how to deploy it if you ever had to use a paracord bracelet. You see, everybody's got them. It's like, who's ever actually taken one apart, you know? So I'm going to do that with these two. This is a decent one, not coming undone. These were kind of my first ones, and I didn't tuck it far enough in, so the end came out. So they're useless, and I can't use them anymore. So what I want to do, Maxwell, come here. Hey, up here. Come on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to deploy it, and you'll have some paracord. This one's a little, going to be a little bit better, because this is desert multicam is what they called it. And I need some more light, is what I need. Let me get some light on the subject. I don't know if it'll help much, but let's get a little bit of light in here. Desert multicam was the color of that one, and that bracelet is all the same. Let's make shadow puppets. I don't know, whatever. I never was good at that. This is all one color, so this will be all one piece. This one here is two colors. Max, where'd you go? Come here. Attaboy. This one's two colors, so you're going to have actually two pieces here. So it's not quite as long, but you have two pieces. These are both, the weave on these things, they're both the same weave. This one just looks different because it's desert multicam. It's just got different pattern to it than this one. This is called a trilobite or a ladder rack. Now, I watch and get ideas or techniques from the Paracordist more than anybody else. He's got some great weaves on it, some great videos on how to do paracord. It's called the Paracordist. Another guy who does a hat weave and a couple others. He's really good for Turk's head knots, which is a wrap on like a stick and things like that. Storm Drain wraps his hat, and he's got pretty good videos on how to thread your hat. If you want to put the paracord on your boonie hat, Storm Drain is the guy to look for. So let's get into it. I want to try to add another multi-camera deal in here and see how it goes. So first thing we got is, let's undo the buckles. And when I do my paracord, I put this in a jig. So it's on a pre-measured jig, and what I'll do is I will run a paracord down to this clip, and then back up, and then back up again twice, you know, so I've got a center piece for the paracord. And you can see these these pieces that are running down the center. You're going to lose a little bit of cord, but not a whole lot. You won't lose much if you, I don't know if you can pull these out and undo it, thread it. I guess you could. The quick way is to cut these pieces right here that are on the buckles. Okay, if you cut it, then the whole thing comes out. You know, it just starts to unweave, unravel. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut it right here. Get rid of that, because in a pinch, that's what you want to do. All the way through. The awesome Kershaw Blur Ken Onion design, the heavily worn Kershaw Blur, my favorite knife. Alright, so we just cut the buckle off of this. Now let's see what we can do with it. Yeah, it just comes right undone. And it'll be a little twisty. You just have to untwist it, unthread it. You know, it's woven together, so it's got to kind of unweave it. And I can't remember on here. I think it was 13 feet that I used. I don't know if it's got a whole 13 feet because I did trim some of it off, but I think it was somewhere around 13 foot per color on this particular weave. This King Cobra, this thing has close to 50 to 60 feet of cord because it's got a Cobra weave on it, and then it's wrapped again in a Cobra weave. So it's got two. This Cobra weave is on top of another Cobra weave, and then I used like 10, 20 feet of black to accent it. So this thing has a lot of paracord, this rigid King Cobra. I'm not sure who did that one. Possibly Weavers of Eternity. Just do a Google search for a rigid King Cobra and you'll find it. And they look cool too. They look really cool. This one's pretty dirty and worn. I had a secondary one that I used for like everyday carry that was this color, but I gave that to Sappers as a parting gift for coming out and camping with us. So he got that one. I don't know if he wears it or not. Probably threw it in the trash because it came from me. But anyway, so basically you just unthread this thing and it'll give you quite a few feet of paracord. And we'll see once we get it done here how much cord is actually there. I think I saw Les Stroud do this with a paracord bracelet. In fact, I think he had one of the survival ones that has that aluminum foil in it, that has fishing line, a couple of hooks, and some other whatnots, and it was a few feet. It wasn't bad. Kind of a cheapy Chinese made one or something, I don't know, but they burned it. I could tell that they burned it. So, alright, well, here's what we got. Well, it's a far cry from 13 feet. That's about 5 foot of paracord there. About another 5 here. Well, this one's a little bit longer, but I can almost, if I stretch out my arms all the way, it's about 6 feet. I have about a 6 foot wingspan. So these are about 5 foot-ish. So there's 2 cords right there, 2 5-footers. Depending on what you could use it for or what you need, you could do a lot with it. And no, you're not going to take out the little strands and suture yourself. You're going to buy a staple gun and use skin staples. Okay? So, there's that. Now, on this one, even though this is one piece, I don't think it's going to come out as one piece because of the fact that once you cut that those center pieces in here, it cuts it in half. So, I'm not sure, I don't really remember on what end you're supposed to cut if you were to cut it, and you might get a little extra footage on it, but let's see, where's those extra pieces? Yeah, these are the 2 extra little pieces from the loop here, and so those are 8, 9 inches, whatever. These might come in handy for something, you don't know.
I start this by making a small hoop and then I just wrap the cord around, making sure that it's completely tight. Okay, and there's my broadhead spear. Now throwing this is going to be a bit harder because it's going to be heavier at the top, but it will create a bigger hole in the target that you're aiming for, which makes for a quicker kill. So this is really a big game spear.
But there it is. There's a unwoven paracord bracelet. Alright, so we're going to try this one, And basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these pieces right here and see what it would come up with. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Let me see, my glasses on here. Let's cut that one. Try not to cut the other cord. There we go. All right. Well, that one comes around and done. You seeing that? That's about the same. So I'm basically, I'm thinking I'm doing about 8 foot on these trilobite ladder rack bracelets, using about 8 foot of cord. It's been a long time since I've made one. I haven't done one. I haven't needed to. I've got like a dozen of them that I wear, as you can see in my videos. I'm always wearing a different one, but I do have my favorites. I like this desert sand or whatever they call it, this desert camo pattern, because it does blend in. It is camouflage. If you had to use this to anchor a snare or something, it would be a little bit harder to see, I would think. It'd be a little more camouflaged. So, there. Come on, done. There we go. These things have been washed, especially like this one. This thing's been thrown in the washing machine a couple dozen times over the years. This one's probably about 3 or 4 years old. Same with this one here. This one's been in the wash a lot. Doesn't hurt them if they're tied right. And you're, what am I trying to say? Instead of burning the ends, if you tuck them, then they're gonna be a lot nicer for you. All right, there's one. Oops, let's go the other way. All right, so there's one right here, and again, that's about the same thing. That's a little longer, almost 6 foot on this piece, and another short piece, and then another longer piece. Cool. So there you have it. That's how much paracord is in one of these paracord bracelets. Now this is a fairly fat one. Some of the skinny ones, you're not going to get nearly as much. And again, the fatter ones like this one, you're going to get almost 50 foot of cord on it. So that's cool. I kind of wanted to, I've been saving those for a while, and I just haven't had the gumption to make the video. But now that I'm practicing the dual editing, oh look, I did cut it on the right end too, because this is like almost a foot piece. You know, but you know what? If you needed a bootlace, or you needed to tie something, secure something, this would totally come in handy. It's what it's for. As much as I hate to murder a good paracord bracelet, you know, you do what you got to do. And you're out there. All right, cool. Well, thanks for your patience. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Show pal Jackhammer Mike. I'm out.